What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Street Fighter Duel video. Alright guys, we're going to be covering something else today. Even though it is the Street Fighter Duel feed here, I promised somebody I would talk about this. Actually, multiple people have been asking me this question, so I figured I'd bring it up, okay? So, as you guys are well aware, I have now branched out my gacha atmosphere, stratosphere, whatever you want to call it, into other games, right? Street Fighter Duel is no longer my main game. I'm now trying to develop my channel and grow with a larger audience and a larger player base plus communities. And I think it's the wisest thing to do. But the question becomes, as a father of two, as a husband, as a full-time working IT professional, somebody who goes to the gym all the time, plays sports, hangs out with friends, puts out a lot of content, how do I manage it all? It was a great question. Somebody asked me this question. I was intrigued by the question. I was wondering myself why somebody would ask this question, but it started to make sense why some people wanted to know, how do I not burn out doing all this? So what keeps me interested in a game? So what are the major reasons I stay in the game? What are some of the major reasons I leave a game? So I think this is a good time to kind of talk about this, because I've now been covering Street Fighter Duel. I'm covering omniheroes, Era of Light Eclipse, which I don't know if I'll cover too much. It's not doing too well on the channel. That's one of the reasons why I stay or don't stay, to be quite honest. Let's be real, as content creators, it does play a big role. DC Heroes and Villains, which is a little bit dead right now. And then, of course, Tower of God New World, which I'm loving. So, it's 5 games. 5 or 6 games? 5 games, I think, right? Plus more on the horizon, right? There's more to come. Now, if you guys don't know the trend here so far, besides one of the games, all of these games are idle gotchas. Okay, so someone who's my age, an old ass man, with as much responsibilities and priorities that I have going on in my life, it's impossible for me to manage life and also continue doing this if I'm not handling time management. Right? Time management is the most important thing. So I have a set schedule. I work from home every day. I have meetings. I have work I need to do. And between that time where I have a little bit of time off, I will always make an effort to make an 8-minute video. Now, it really does help a lot that I don't edit, right? For me, it's like a lot of people like, how do you do it? How are you so fast putting? I don't edit really. I don't script anything. I don't think about anything. I just like, okay, here's a topic I want to talk about. I go in. I do it on the spot. Okay. Very, very freestyle. There's nothing in front of me. There's nothing on the screen. It's just whatever I feel, I talk about. And I do this for a living, right? I talk to a lot of like high-end customers. I talk to a lot of VPs. And it's nothing new to me where I'm on the spot and I have to come up with something that is tangible, logical, and requires my expertise to make sense out of something, right? And gaming is no different. I've been gaming since I was 8 years old. My first NES. Oh no, it was an Atari. I had an Atari actually first. If you guys, shout out to those who know what an Atari is. For those who don't, trust me, you'll never ever know. You can Google it if you want, really. But at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing here. At the end of the day, it's gaming has always been part of my life, and I've never struggled to talk about it. Right? Never ever struggled to talk about it. So, what keeps me into gotchas? Like, why gotchas? And I made a video about this, right? And I said how mobile gaming for me is better than AAA gaming. Like, I have a PS5 right here beside me. You guys don't see it, but I think I showed it on screen before. Sitting here with Final Fantasy 16, which is a game that I've wanted to play since its first conception. Obsessed with Final Fantasy. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Like, I played every single one of them, finished every single one of them. But now being a father and a husband, obviously, right? And just not having the time to really sit and go through a full storyline and being immersed into a world, mobile gaming has completely taken over for me, right? And a lot of people are asking, well, then what? So how do you figure out which one you want to stay with and which one you don't? So it's a very good question. So let's talk about that. So what makes me want to stick around with a mobile game versus what doesn't? Okay, so first off, the IP. That is the number one thing for me, right? IP. That is, it's like, and I don't care what anybody says. It's like looking at somebody else who you're attracted to. The first thing you see for me is looks, the IP is the looks, right? If I see One Punch Man, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, you name it, right? Any IP that I have a fond, Naruto, Bleach, right? And the list, One Piece, the list goes on, right? Whatever the case may be. Jujutsu Kaisen, like Black Clover, all of the Seven Deadly Sins, like all of these games I bought into because the first thing I saw was the name of the game. So the moment that hits, that is the first thing that draws me in. So as a gamer, I instantly will now prioritize in my head what kind of game is it after I know the IP, and then can I handle it? So if it's a good IP, no matter what the game is, I'll always try it. I'll always try it. I'll make time. I'll put another game aside that isn't as big in an IP world, and I'll try it. That's the first draw for me. The second draw for me is aesthetics, right? How it looks, how it feels. So, for example, when Seven Deadly Sins came out, it was an instant grab for me because I love Seven Deadly Sins #1, but the game style and the lure of the graphics and the special moves and the summoning and everything was just so next level compared to anything that was out on the market, except for Epic 7. Epic 7 is the only game that, to me, matched up to Seven Deadly Sins. And it instantly got me in there. And I was #1 on the server for a couple months before Mega Shield jumped on and decided to just outwail everybody as usual. And it was one of those things where, like, I knew the moment I played that game that I was going to stick with it for quite some time. Okay? So, #2 was aesthetics. Right, that's what keeps me there. The look and feel of a game. Now, it doesn't always have to be a nice graphical game. Don't get me wrong. I like my games when they're grimy and gritty. Like, for example, if a Castlevania game came out and it looks like Air of Light Eclipse, which a lot of people don't like the graphics for, I love the dark atmosphere for a lot of games, depending on what game it is, right? So there are some games that I'm going to love and some games I'm not going to really be too fond of. So that's going to make a big difference. So aesthetics makes a huge difference. Next is going to be the actual systems in the game, content, right? How content heavy is it? Now, too much content is really bad. I instantly turn off if it's too much content. Hence why I play mobile games. I don't have time to play too much content. So I don't know if you guys feel the same way. If one game, for example, Dawnlands just came out, it's a survival game for mobile and PC. I was so excited when I first saw it, and then the moment I saw that it was content heavy, I was like, I can't do this. So it instantly got deleted from my actual title screen. Another game like Monster Hunter Now, which really sucks that I love to play it. It requires me to go around the city, navigate, it's like Pokemon Go, find monsters and battle them. I don't have time for that. I'm a father of 2. I have a full-time career. I don't have time to just willy-nilly walk around, but I can see the appeal of the game, and if I was single, I would have loved to cover that. Have somebody follow me around with a camera. It would have been a wicked experience for content. My God, I would have loved it. So games like that instantly turn me off if it's too content heavy. All right? Idle games do it for me. A lot of people don't like idle games because of VIP systems, because of how pay-to-win heavy they are. But for me, I love the concept of idle games because I know after 5 minutes I can get all my dailies done. It's kind of like washing dishes. You know they're done for the day and that's it. And the beauty of idle games for me is that I know even though it's whale heavy, if I'm patient enough, I'll still be able to do enough in the game to feel proud of the progress that I put in, right? So Tower of God, for example, completely free to play. Street Fighter Duel, I have a free to play account, very proud of it. What else? Air of Light Eclipse, completely free to play, very proud of it, right? DC Heroes and Villains, completely free to play, very proud of it. So again, these are things that are going to really help me. Now, those are some of the big things. Now, let's go on to the developer side, okay? Things that turn me off about a game. So if I know, for example, I jump into a game and I see that the game is constantly popping up with, here's a sale on this, here's a sale on this, here's a sale on this, every 3 seconds, like Street Fighter Duel did. Luckily, it was Street Fighter, so I stuck around. But normally, that would instantly turn me off. Because I know that they're going to try to grab a sale out of you in every possible way. And you understand the mentality of the devs now. It's not about, here, enjoy the game for what it is and support us if you feel comfortable. It's more like, here is everything that we want to sell to you right away. So that's a big turnoff. Number 2 big turnoff for me is going to be the community. That's number one and two for me, to be honest. So that's a big bonus and a negative bonus. So this is the biggest one for me. To be honest, this should actually be number two. So it starts with IP. It should no, sorry, it's number three. IP, aesthetics, and then it's going to be community. And I should have put this third. To me, communities make or break the games. It doesn't matter what the devs do. So let's take Naruto X Boruto Ninja Tribes, which I covered for 2 years. Okay, I quit also for 6 months because of the way they were treating the community. I left. I was like, screw it. I'm your biggest content creator. I'm out. I didn't care what revenue I lost. It was just a statement I wanted to make for us, as the community, and for myself to be like, enough is enough. And we even signed a petition for 5,000 player signatures to make the game change and add more content, and they didn't listen. So I was like, enough. So for me, communities make or break games, and as a content creator, especially as a content creator, it's more important because when I'm not a content creator, I don't really get myself involved in Discord. I'm very to myself. I focus on the game and then I move on. But as a content creator, you guys make or break my experience in games. I would have left Street Fighter Duel a long time ago, especially after recouping my money, if it wasn't for you guys. I promise you. I've been very upset with the way they've been treating the game and us at the same time. And I think you guys are aware of this. I've mentioned it numerous times already. But communities make or break games. Community, as a matter of fact, can keep games alive and people happy within those games even more than the game itself. But also, there's the flip side to it where communities can be super toxic, right? I've played games where communities are divided based on silly things like, oh, how does a game stat work? Or, there's these people who think they're elitist and they know better than everybody else. So they'll divide themselves and talk shit about everybody. It's communities can be very fickle, right? So they can either make or break a game. So those are some of the big turn-ons and turn-offs. Community being a huge one for that, especially, right? Now, another really big one for me in terms of do I keep the game going or not, and I said as a content creator, my views matter, is if you guys actually are watching me play the game. To me, a game is more fun when I have interaction with you guys. If there's zero interaction with my community, then I feel less obligated to play a game because I know there are hundreds of them out there. All right? So that's a big one for me too. Now, I did mention big IPs. I do also like IPs that don't exist or have never been talked about before. They matter to me too because I like to give them a chance, and there's a lot of good gems out there. So that can also be a good and a bad thing. I apologize, guys. Sorry for the just have my coffee. So that's also something that's important. Now, in terms of burning out, here's my secret. To be honest with you guys, if my videos are doing well, burnout's not a problem. Honestly, my content creating part of it makes a huge difference. But also outside of that, if I am having fun, I only focus on idle games, right? I don't do anything else but idle games, for the most part, because of that exact reason. I like to take 10 minutes of my day to feel like I accomplished something, and then I like to move on and do something more important with my life. So burnout is not a problem because idle games don't really affect burnout, in my opinion. They just they allow you to play a game without worrying about the consequence of like, what if I missed a day? If I miss a day on idle game, I never care. Honestly, I never care. And I think that's something that I've started to become a lot better at, is remembering that a game is meant to be fun, right? I think the moment you draw the line in the sand and remember that games are meant to be fun and are not chores, it becomes easier to continue playing the game. Also, because I've now turned the new leaf of being more free to play for most of my games, like 99% of my games actually all free to play, I think it's helped me not feel like I'm trapped as well. So not spending as much on games or spending at all on games makes me have no tie-in or buy-in to the product. So I think that's very important to note. All right, so there you guys have it. Those are my reasons. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have the same kind of mentality behind it or issues, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. This is Payne. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.